Hey everyone, this is Kevin with ConvertLabs, all-in-one platform to launch and grow your cleaning business. And here we have Victoria. I've known you for, 5 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. So thanks for being
hmm
on. I'm hoping you can just kind of tell everybody a little bit. If they don't know you already, I'm sure a lot of people who are going to see this know you. They've seen you around. But yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about you, your background, kind of what you're doing today.
My sister Jen and I started a cleaning company in July 2021. And Jen had taken a Zoom course that Rohan Gilks generously offered for free at that time. And it was like 21 days to launch your cleaning business. And it was so funny because we have no background in the cleaning industry. I'm a former school teacher. My sister is a writer director of movies. I produce movies with her. I was burnt out because it was the pandemic. So teaching online was obviously really hard, very rewarding, but, challenging. And I was tired of the capped salary that I had as a teacher. And so when she called and said, "Hey, I'm going through a divorce with my husband of 20 years. I've got 3 kids, and I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills," because the film industry was virtually shut down at that time. So she found a tweet of somebody talking about starting these boring businesses, that cleaning businesses were safe, steady, secure. And she was like, "All right, let's try that."
Yeah,
And she convinced me. And I was like, "I hate cleaning. Why would you want me to do this? Like, I absolutely
yeah.
despise it." And she's like, "Yeah, but, you're good at producing movies and at teaching and at, working with people." So, and in a previous life, before I returned to the classroom, I used to own a recruitment agency where I recruited teachers to work in the UK. So the skills were fairly transferable, but we really didn't know what we were doing. So it was all kudos to you, Kevin, and Rohan, really showing us how to not waste time and money making dumb decisions on our own.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've certainly spent quite a bit of money making those dumb decisions, so
Yeah, and I appreciated that because I didn't
yeah.
want to make those dumb, and we didn't have any money to invest. Like, we really didn't. Anyway, long story short, it's now been 5 years. Our business
Yeah,
is
like the
now.
anniversary, really.
Yeah, it actually, our
Yeah.
anniversary is in 7 days
Oh,
from our
cool.
very first booking, which was July 9th, 2021,
Wow.
to today, July 2nd, 2026. So in 5 days, it will be our anniversary, or where, no, not whatever, math, not my strong suit, 7 days. But I'm just looking at our dashboard here from ConvertLabs, and do you want to know the revenue number we've done since our very first day?
Yeah. Yeah.
2,872,116.86.
Wow.
And that's 12,341 cleans. That's crazy to
Wow.
me.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I'm like, what? And in our first month, we only did something like 1,600. Our second month, we did like 4 grand. And it just, because you taught us how to really focus on recurring revenue, and that, one client paying $200 every 2 weeks, that's how to grow the business. So now we're, so happy. We have 20 cleaners on our team. And now we're coaching others on how to do it, which is just fun and cool to keep paying it forward.
Yeah, that's great. So there's a lot of people that are like wishing they could be in your shoes now and, just like snap their fingers and like have a successful business already in place.
Yep.
So for those of dreaming about it, like what does your typical life or, day in your life or week kind of look like with running your business?
I love that question because it's the question I was asking in the beginning as well. And thinking about, like, am I cold calling? Am I reaching out to people all the time? Am I advertising? Am I, what am I doing? And the answer is it's a little bit of everything, but it's much calmer now. So when I talk to people that are starting their businesses today, I always say, look, if you can do an hour a day of productive work, not nonsense, productive work, and follow the blueprint. And what I mean by that is cleaning company blueprint, which is what we've created from what you guys have taught and then added our own spin to it. And so if you can follow the blueprint and just do what works, it should only take you an hour a day
Yeah.
total. And that includes like receiving phone calls, responding to text messages, managing your marketing spend. Like, everything should be about an hour, maybe 2 a day. One of the things that I've really found in all the people that we've coached over the years is some of the best people we've worked with are really busy moms.
Mhm.
And it's because they have to prioritize their time. They don't have time to waste. So
Right.
Jen was the same. She wrote her master's degree, her thesis in an hour a day when her kid was napping. And we had friends that are, probably still doing their masters like 10
Yeah.
years later because they had all the time in the world. So therefore they did nothing really well,
Yeah.
whereas productive, clear work, and if you follow our blueprint, then that's how we've laid it out for you. However, my first year, I had all the time in the world. I don't have any kids. And I would waste, 6, 7 hours a day just spinning my wheels. And now I look back and I'm like, man, I just spun my wheels, analyzing every Google dollar that I spent on ads or doing cold calling or whatever. And really, you just don't have to do that. So I would start from how you name your cleaning company really matters. And I know this is new from how Rohan has taught it before. And a lot of other coaches that are in this space, they just teach, just choose a name. And Jen and I have kind of stumbled upon a formula, which is your geographic location plus your keywords equals your business name. And so let me break that down. So your geographic location, and when I say that, I don't mean all of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you could do that, but nobody's going to find you. But if you choose instead a very small location within New York City, you're going to get found by the right people within that location. So I'll use Dana. She's one of our coaching clients. She just launched a few months ago in New York City. She was originally going to name it something that mattered to her that didn't matter to the customer at all, right?
Yeah.
This is like classic. Like so many people will do this where it's like, it's my grandmother's name or it's my dog's name or, I visited this place in Tuscany and I just loved it. And like, that doesn't help you. And so instead she booked a call with me and I said, okay, where do you live? And she goes, Hudson Yards. And I'm like, is that a good area? She's like, oh yeah, it's a really good area. I'm like, all right, let's look. Is HudsonYardsClean.com available? It was. She changed her name. That's what she went with. And within 2 months, 3 months, she's already doing 9K, 8K, 9K a month. So it's just a much smarter approach.
Yeah. A pet peeve of mine, because obviously like I see almost every business that comes through ConvertLabs, and sometimes like people will create these names that are just so hard to spell. I am a horrible speller. So when I see like exquisitely clean blah blah blah.com, like
Nobody's ever going to find you.
I can't spell that,
No, and I shouldn't say nobody's ever going to find you. People will
Yeah.
find you, but you're going to have to be paying for leads so much longer than
Right.
if you just make it easy for Google and AI to recommend you.
Yeah.
Right? So we're big on the easy approach. And I built a tool called namemycleaningcompany.com.
Right.
Anybody
And
can
we're
use
gonna
it.
link that on the YouTube
Yeah, it
video
really
here. So
helps.
yeah, it's actually really good. And I like how it also helps with the city location as well.
It
That's
helps you
really
narrow
cool.
it down. So
Yeah.
it does the research on your location and it will tell you if it's a hard one. Because, look, we can start these cleaning businesses anywhere, but certain neighborhoods are easier to run these businesses in than others. So, for example, if you were in a densely populated retiree neighborhood, you'll get lots of phone calls. You'll have tons of people looking for your services, but they might not be able to afford your services and they probably don't want to book online. Whereas when you're using ConvertLabs, your edge is that you can book online with transparent pricing, easy scheduling. So we really want to target Gen
Yeah.
X and millennials who, millennials hate picking up the phone. So they're a perfect demographic for us. They want to book online and all the other cleaning businesses don't let them do that. So let's just let them do that.
Yeah.
So when we do in Name My Cleaning Company, when you're searching for your very initial, like, what should I name my company? It will tell you if your location, is too heavy on the older demographic, which is what all the other cleaning businesses serve. So don't feel bad that you're not targeting that. Like literally all the other businesses target them. And so instead, we're targeting millennial, Gen X, which are also who our workers are. They tend to be millennial in age group. So,
I tested it and I was like, I'm in Southern California. So I went to like Palm Springs and see how it would do there. And
yeah.
it told me, it's mostly retirees, which is correct. A lot of people are either on fixed income or they're older and they might not, really care so much about online booking and all that. So it worked really well. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and it'll help you so that you're not naming your company too big. So if I tried it and I said Toronto, it'll go, what about? And then it'll help dial it down to a specific neighborhood within Toronto that will and the reason this works is that Google, so people type in
Yeah.
cleaning services, and Google knows where you are. So it knows your neighborhood. Even if you don't put in your town, it knows. So you type in cleaning services and it's going to spit out companies that have that word in the title: cleaning, cleaning, cleaners, cleaning company, whatever, and then your location. So you automatically rank higher faster and therefore make more money faster. So that's been really fun to play with. And I created that with AI. So I was very proud
Yeah.
of myself figuring out how to build a tool for our community.
Yeah. And I mean, you've been using AI quite a bit. So can you kind of talk about that? And I think there's like, I mean, it's got to be like 99% of cleaning business owners, hear so much about AI and it's like, how do I implement this? Like, what is it?
What do I
You
do?
know, do I have to do anything? And there's also this feeling of like, if I don't do anything, am I left out? But like, what am I left out of? You know?
Yeah, 100%. So the way that we use AI in our company is to up level the customer service that we give. So one of the things that you taught me actually, Kevin, is to mirror the client. So if a client calls you and says, "Hey, I'm looking for cleaning services for my house." You then mirror them back and you say, "Okay, you're looking for cleaning services for your house."
Mhm.
And you pause and then they tell you more and then you repeat it back and then they tell you more and you repeat it back. And it's a funny thing when you're not used to doing it to get used to doing, but it works like magic. The
Yeah.
minute you start mirroring back what people are saying to you, they think you're an incredible listener, you're great at customer service, you know what you're doing, and really all you're doing is just reflecting back what they're asking for. So the way I use AI is in the same way. So every email has that kind of structure to it, but not in a condescending or patronizing way. And that does take time to teach whatever AI you're using how to use your voice. In my case, I have a YouTube channel, Cleaning Company Blueprint. We've got Oak Bay Clean has been around for 5 years. And we've used our Gmail account for 5 years in managing all of our email communication. We use Quo, which used to be called OpenPhone, and Quo connects with Claude Cowork. It basically knows everything I've ever been asked and how I've answered it. So when I say, go reply to this email, it knows what to say back. Now, I will add, I believe strongly in human in the loop.
Right.
So I don't let any AI just run free. That's just not my jam. And I know that that's not what the human behind the scenes who's booking a cleaning service, they don't want that. They want to
Yeah.
know that we've got our eyes on it. So I am still reading over and making sure there's nothing wrong there. I think a lot of beginners to it think, oh, I can just automate everything and never have to deal with people. And I have to tell you, if you're starting a cleaning business, you have to deal with people.
Yeah, so that really reminds me of like, several years ago, there's a bunch of people trying to start cleaning businesses who are all about like automating everything, like
Everything.
at,
Yep.
at the get go, like right
Yep.
from launch, or,
Yep.
and back then it was really hiring a virtual assistant. And the problem with that is if you don't really start off by answering most of the phone calls or some of the phone calls, it's kind of hard to understand like the problems in the business, what customers really care about, just how to run it in general
Yeah.
so that when you are hiring someone or using AI, you know how to direct things because you know how it's supposed to be run, right? And what the problems are, and you can kind of foresee everything. So yeah, it seems like the problems with people, really just trying to be lazy and hire a VA off the bat back then, they're just trying to do that with AI now.
That's
Is that
exactly it.
right?
And then they're shutting down, and
Yeah.
it's like, this is not the business for that. There are loads of other businesses that you can start where you're not dealing with people in the
Yeah.
same way. But because we're going into people's homes,
Yeah. I
you
was just
do
gonna say
still,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you need to have that human connection. It's also our edge, right? So,
Yeah.
one of the things that you taught us that we now teach others is when you're first starting out, what you want to do is you want to research the competition. And the method is fairly simple. You pick up the phone, you go to Google, and you type in cleaning services in your location, and then see who comes up on Google. The first few will be ads, so skip over those. And then the next bunch will be, what we call organic. So those are ones that are just showing up on Google for free. They're not paying for it. So they've got a track record on the internet. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at each of their websites and first see, do they have online booking? And when I say online booking, I mean, can you put a credit card down
Yeah.
and actually book your cleaning with an
Yeah.
appointment, not a lead form? Everyone else has lead forms, which basically means from the customer's point of view, they put in all their information and then they wait for the
for a
owner
call
or
back.
VA to get back to them, right? So
Yeah.
that's what everybody else is doing. So first, you're going to look at the top 10 that show up. Do your research. Do they have online booking? And which Kevin and I can both tell you they don't. There's very, very few locations in the world where they do. New York City is quite competitive as a whole city, but not if you go niche specific. But otherwise, almost every region in the world doesn't have online booking. Maybe one or two will. And then you pick up the phone and you phone those 10 companies. And what you're looking at is, do they answer the phone, yes or no? And here's what the data shows. 70% don't answer the phone at all. And so
Mhm.
if you're a customer looking to book a clean, you're a hot lead. You want to book a clean, you know? And so everybody else is leaving that money on the table. Then add the layer of the online booking. And this is really what our edge is when we're using ConvertLabs and this particular model that you guys have taught us. It's just so stupidly simple and it works. Now, here's where people get off track because we're talking about people that are starting cleaning businesses, right, Kevin? So here's where
Yeah,
they get off track.
or they have an existing business, that they're
It's
newer,
stuck. Yeah.
or they've been around for a bit and they're just stuck. Yeah.
And here's what happens. Your entrepreneurial brain kicks in and tries to make work harder for you. But then you get off track from the plan and you start doing dumb stuff. So let's say you spend $5,000 wrapping your car in an advertisement because you think you met somebody at a business event and they said that was the best thing ever. So you're like, oh, I've got to wrap my car. No, you do not. You need to be found online where clients are looking. Or you spend money, you dump $5,000 into Google Ads, but you've never used Google Ads before. You don't want to dump $5,000. You want to dump $50,
Yeah.
$500. You want to
Yeah.
learn. And what we really focus on in Cleaning Company Blueprint is focus on what actually works. So you're testing in the beginning. And I think a lot of times people have unrealistic expectations that they're going to reach 50K a month in their first 3 months. And it's like, no, you're growing a business, guys. This takes time. It takes patience. It takes skill over time. So build it slowly. Follow the plan and don't let your entrepreneurial brain come up with some creative idea that's never been done before. We don't need that in this space.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, there's a lot of things too, the traps that people fall into where it's like, they feel like it's a real business when they wrap their car.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
all ego. It's
Yeah.
all ego.
Or when you get an office, like
Yeah. Now
there's
I own a business.
there's a Molly Maid office here, locally. Nobody's ever in there.
Why would
It's
you be?
it's just
Yeah.
a empty building. But yeah, you got to just keep from falling into these traps of things that, feed the ego,
Yeah.
but don't necessarily, feed your bank account, right? So
Yeah, we just want to feed your bank account. And
yeah,
and if you follow how we teach the naming part, what will happen is over time you get found online and you're not spending as much money
right.
trying to advertise to get people. And a lot of times I've heard this a lot too is like, but why wouldn't you want to keep advertising? Because you're just going to make more money, right? And here's what we've learned. After about a year or two, and it depends on everybody and how much work you've done, how many reviews you have, what the customer experience is. But let's say your customer experience is good. They're happy you're getting 5-star reviews. What happens over time is you start showing up where your ideal customers are looking. And they're smart. And I don't know about you, Kevin, but when's the last time you looked at Google, you typed something in, and you clicked on the first thing that showed sponsored?
Never.
You scroll over it.
The only time I do is when I'm curious because it's a competitor or something, and I'm just curious about how they're doing it. But that's just me. I'm not like
Yeah. You're not
customer.
like, I'm going to book with them because they came up
Exactly.
first and I
Yeah.
could see their advertising, right?
Yeah.
So our age groups, we know those are ads. We
Yeah.
have
It's a
been so
turnoff.
trained. You
Yeah.
can tell. So we just scan over it and then we go down and then we look at the reviews. Those are your ideal clients. In the beginning, you still have to come up first because you got to tell Google you exist. You've got to put money in to play the game. And you're going to get a lot of clients that maybe aren't your ideal clients because they're the ones that are desperate. They need it now. They need it today. They need to move out in 4 hours, right? Those are the phone calls you're paying for when you're paying for leads to get them. And that's fine. You need the money in the bank. We got to get the cleaners out. It's totally fine. But over time, if you follow all the stuff that we teach about how to get found online and how to be smart about having your cleaners be reliable, show up on time, do a great job, which we teach all of that, then you're going to get better clients. And that's
Mhm.
why I'm able to hang out talking here with you, even though, it's the middle of the workday. my cleaners are out. I'm not even looking at my phone. Like everything's fine.
Yeah.
And now I play pickleball in the middle of the day. I go to the gym. I do like a
Yeah.
million other things. But in the first year, I was like just so worried and stressed and spinning my
Yeah.
wheels.
Does that stress go away? Or are you more like used to it?
You develop a thicker skin for sure
Yeah.
because every time you get a complaint from a client, like we're all human, we all care. I don't have that thick of a skin that I don't care. If I get a complaint, I do still care. The difference is now I know 2 to 5% of people are going to complain no matter how good of a job we do, right? So
Mhm.
that's the stat, that's the norm in the industry. It's 2 to 5%. And our complaint ratio is under 0.5% now. I've done a ton of work, and again, I use AI for this, to onboard the client. So I know what their frequently asked questions are based on our reality. In the beginning, it was based on your reality, right? Because I was learning from you. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take Kevin's facts. Well,
Mhm.
now I have my own facts based on what people actually asked in my area. And so I can get ahead of any complaints by telling them ahead of time, hey, we don't clean blood, feces, urine, whether human or animal. And that's
Yeah.
a big one. Like, why
Yeah.
didn't you clean this? Well, that's blood, feces, or urine. We don't
Yeah.
clean that. We don't climb ladders. We only go on a 2-step stool. That's as high as we go. So if you need somebody on a tall ladder, you've got to call a window washing company. They have the proper health and safety insurance for that. We do not.
Yeah.
We don't clean under heavy furniture. If it's more than 25 pounds, our cleaners will not lift it. So that
Mhm.
used to be a complaint we would get, especially from seniors. They want us like crawling under their beds because they can't, and we're like, well, we can't either. If our tools reach it, great, but we're not physically climbing underneath your furniture. So a lot of little things like that. And so over time, you just get better because you can anticipate what the complaints are. I'm also better at hiring. We have 20 cleaners on our team now. So if a cleaner calls in sick for tomorrow, it's not that big of a deal.
Mhm.
I can replace them easily. Whereas in the beginning, when you only have 1 or 2 cleaners, somebody calls in sick,
Yeah.
that's a huge deal.
Yeah. Everything's
Um,
on fire.
Everything's on fire. So you're
Yeah.
reactive,
Yeah.
and now we're much more proactive. We also take on a lot less one-time clients. So our focus is very much on weekly and biweekly clients. And monthlies, they make up 81% of our revenue.
How do you do that? Like, is it when you're initially talking to a customer and if they say they're one time?
We say we prioritize our weekly and biweekly clients. How often are you
Yeah.
looking for?
Oh, so you
And
say
that,
that from right from
yeah,
the okay. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
straight up say it now. I was a lot more
Yeah.
nervous before, but now I'm just like, okay, cool. So, like we can play a phone call right now. So if
Sure.
I answer the phone, I'm like, hey, Oak Bay Clean, Victoria speaking. How can I help?
Hey, this is Kevin. Just looking, for some pricing on cleaning my house.
Okay, awesome, Kevin. You're looking for some pricing on cleaning your house. First, before I give you anything, can you tell me a little bit more about your home and how often you're looking for?
Yeah, so it's a, 3 bedroom, 3 bath with a basement. It's about 4,000 square feet. And right now I'm just kind of looking maybe for like a one-time clean, before some family gets here.
Okay, so you're looking for a special occasion. You've got about 4,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, 3 bath. Have you got any pets at all?
No.
Okay, no pets. Okay, so we're going to call that a first time clean. And
Okay.
what a first time clean is, we're going to go top to bottom through your house. We won't clean the windows unless you tell us to. So if you would like us to wash your windows, just do a count for me. Let me know how many windows you have. It's just $10 a window. Otherwise, it's going to be a top to bottom, surfaces only clean. So, do you think you need anything inside done, like inside the oven, inside the fridge, or inside any cupboards?
Not right now, no.
Okay, perfect. So, the first time clean is what you need.
Okay.
Then I give you the first time clean price, and it's high. And then you might push back and I'll say, yeah, totally understand. Guess what? Our weekly clients get 20% off. And after you've had your first time clean, your cost will only be. And then I show him the other
Mhm.
price. It's much less. And then so they start clocking it in their head like, oh, okay, this is how this works. Biweekly clients get 15% off. Monthly clients get 10% off.
Mhm.
And so just from the get go, we're always like, hey, weekly, biweekly, monthly. The other thing that I would end the call with is I would say, hey, Kevin, just so you know, no house becomes perfect in one clean. You get that, right? And then you'll respond with like,
Right.
oh, I really need it perfect. My in-laws are blah, blah, blah. Well, the best way to do that would be to book biweekly cleaning. It takes a while for the cleaner to get to know
Right.
your home. That's the most common that we deal with.
If I could just stop you real quick. I
Yeah,
love that because cleaners are always going to miss something,
always.
right? You can't get to everything. It's
We're not
impossible.
Cinderella.
Yeah, and so that really kind of sets up preventing that and setting up those expectations of like, hey, if we miss something, like it's not the end of the world. You booked a one-time clean. I really like that.
Yeah. And then then we make the booking.
Yeah.
And I also explain how the hold is going to work.
Mm.
That one's important to just say on the phone. Like, so as I'm getting the credit card, I say, okay, so just so you know, we're going to put a hold on this card the day before for the amount of this estimate. And I also use the
Mm.
words estimate. Then we will charge after the cleaners are done because, of course, it may take more or less time. We will adjust the price accordingly. So they really understand, like, oh, okay, a hold's going through. And that stops us from dealing with clients that can't actually afford the clean. And you wouldn't believe how many people want to book a cleaner and can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And they put their credit card down and then the hold doesn't work. And so this is, again, why I love ConvertLabs, because it stops us from sending cleaners out if the
Yeah.
card's not going to work, because it comes up red on my screen. I see it and I go, oh, we need a new card on file, or I need to cancel this clean. So I
Yeah.
explain that. Then the next thing is we send an onboarding email. And that email just, once again, restates everything we've talked about. It says their address, it says what they've booked, how large their home is, what type of clean. And then we go through the frequently asked questions again. How many windows do you need to add on? Do you want to add the fridge? Do you want to add the oven? Whatever. So
And are you sending this inside of like Gmail?
we do
Okay.
that via Gmail. And then what I love about this is we have the record, because a lot of times, and this is one thing I learned over the years, is that people, when they're calling a human, on the phone and we have a conversation, and like I'm good at customer service,
Yeah.
right? I think that's fair to say. A lot of people, I've been doing it a long time. A lot of people aren't that comfortable on the phone, but that's actually a bad thing for me because they often think my cleaners are going to be just like I am. And
Mm-hmm.
cleaners are cleaners, right? Some
Yeah.
of them barely speak English, but they're really good at cleaning.
The best
And
ones.
the
Yeah.
best ones, actually,
Yeah.
exactly. And so instead, I force them and me to do everything written.
Yeah.
And that way I can move it into ConvertLabs and say, hey, this person actually has 6 windows. They really care about
Right.
how it smells. Make sure you use a strong scented product. Or flip side, they hate smells, no scents.
Right.
So that written communication is the big change for me, especially 5 years in now. I let more calls go to voicemail. And then I take the transcript and then I put that into ConvertLabs as my tracker of what this person has said. That's made my life a lot easier.
Perfect.
Otherwise, I can spend a half an hour on a phone call with someone and afterwards be like, what did they say?
Yeah. That's me every time.
Every time. Yeah.
Memorize 3 things and I don't remember one of them.
Yeah. So I'm always like typing when I'm on the
Yeah.
phone. They can hear me typing and then I'll read out, okay, this is what I wrote. And then once I get off the phone, I might add a note like high maintenance or VIP type.
So you're a cleaning business coach. I want to know, like right now, are there different struggles people are having with their cleaning business that maybe you've seen a year or two ago? Or is there any, or I guess just in general, like what are like the challenges that new people have starting a cleaning business?
So much of it is emotional. So much of it is about embracing the emotional journey of owning your own business. And in your first year in particular, even if you've owned other businesses before, this is emotional because you're dealing with the clients who are emotional because it's their home, cleaners who are emotional because they're dealing with the clients and their emotions, but also the cleaners have emotions themselves. And then you have your own emotions in terms of how much money you want to make, how much pressure you've put on yourself, how you handle the cleaners, and their stress. And so I think that the biggest thing that I've seen over the last 5 years in helping other people start their businesses is managing the mindset part of this business.
Yeah.
And I think there's kind of 2 extremes. Like on the one hand, there's people who think this is going to be dead simple. I don't need to do any work. I'm going to automate everything. And then they get burned because that's not how this business works. ConvertLabs has already automated what needs to be automated. Okay, so the reminders to your cleaners and your clients, that's an easy automation that ConvertLabs has already done. But newbies come in and they are like, oh, I'm going to also automate.
The like lead flow, like lead nurturing. And it's like, you got to pick up the phone and call them.
This is a human being and we're only getting 1 or 2 leads a day. Like if you can't connect with that human in your first year, that's a you problem.
And like leads are expensive. Everything is expensive, right? Hiring, like you can't just like put that off onto technology.
Yeah, or you can make it free and only do the free stuff, but you're going to grow at a free rate as opposed to I'm investing in myself and my business. And when I say investing in yourself and your business, like it should not cost you more than $1,000 to start this company. If you use the cleaning company blueprint links, we give you a lot of affiliate links and,
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is free in there or like half price for you. And then you've got to spend some money on marketing. You just do. And here's the other extreme of that is people think, I'm going to start a cleaning business for free. I'm going to do everything for free and I'm going to make millions of dollars and I'm going to do no work. Like, I don't know what world you're living in that any coach has said that because none of us say that that's how it works. But somehow they read it on like a Reddit thread or something and they think they're smarter than the rest of us, which I totally understand. My folks have done that too when they started their winery. They're very smart. And so they thought they would start a winery and just be better than everyone else. And actually, they've had their butts kicked a bunch of times and learned, oh, everybody else is really smart too. This is a hard business. It's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's part of owning a business. And then the flip side of that is people who want to spend 10 grand a month in marketing and lead gen or in coaching. And those are the ones that I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not going to make it any faster. You're just going to burn more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, accept the fact that it's going to be like a 1K month your first month, maybe 2Ks your second month, maybe 3 your next month. Maybe you drop back down to 1 and then you get up to 5. So what we've learned is there's 4 phases to cleaning business ownership. Can I go through the 4, Kevin?
Sure.
Okay. So phase 1, I call the leap. And the leap is when you're generating between 0 and 10 grand a month. It can take anywhere from, 4 months to 2 years to pass that 10K a month mark or even longer. So we've seen both ranges. We call it the leap because you're taking an emotional leap into trusting that you know how to run a business. And you're taking a leap into entrepreneurship. You're taking a leap into trusting the model and just doing what we say works. And it's by far the hardest phase out of all of the 4 phases because of the emotional journey you go on. There's days the phone doesn't ring. And then all of a sudden you get 3 bookings and now you're riding a high. The leap is just emotionally the most difficult. And financially, you're investing and you don't know if you're going to get it back. Then we have what we call the engine, and the engine is for 10K to 25K. What happens in the engine is that you fine-tune your operations. So now you know what customers complain about, you know what your cleaners complain about, you know what you're good at, you know what they're good at, you know how to say no to jobs that aren't the right fit for you. So this is really fine-tuning that engine. What happens is we get people in our community that are like engineers or IT or software people, and they try to fine-tune in the leap because they think, oh, I'm smarter than them. I'm going to fix this operation, but they don't know enough yet, right? And so they're just getting impatient. And it's like, just calm down. Get to 10K a month. Now you'll know what the problems are. Then 10K to 25K, fine tune all you want. You can fine tune till the cows come home. I don't care. That's the time to fine tune. After 25K a month to 50K a month, this is what I call the most dangerous phase because it's the boring phase. And what that means is your business is working so well that it's boring now. Because you're not on that emotional journey anymore of the leap. Because you're like, oh, okay, somebody complained. All right, here's how I deal with it.
So funny. This is where I sold my company.
Which is when you sold it. And it's the most dangerous phase because people, and I've done it 4 times now, Kevin.
Yeah.
You'll start another business because you're bored.
Exactly. I've seen this probably 100 times.
Easily.
In people. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Or like I just saw a member of ConvertLabs the other day. I won't say who because I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they took their ConvertLabs website. They're messing with the template. They've changed how it looks. They're at 40K a month. So now is not the time to be tinkering. Yeah. They were doing that in the engine phase, but for whatever reason, they're bored. So they're still tinkering. They took off the beautiful ConvertLabs booking page, which is the whole reason to use ConvertLabs, and they replaced it with a Jot form page. And I wrote to them and I'm like, what are you doing? Why do you like what? And he replied with, oh, I'm just testing it. And I was like,
yeah, I mean, you could test it on like a new company.
Do not test something when you're making 40K a month. It's working, and so now like I can see because, he's just forgotten that the edge his company has is the easy online booking with transparent pricing. He's taken away the transparent pricing. He's taken away the online booking and now he's doing a lead gen form. And I'm like, so now you're just like every other cleaning business in your city.
Yeah.
You're lucky you're at 40K because you're going to still get bookings because you've got enough reviews. So it's not even a true test anymore, right? So anyway, so that's the boring stage. What I recommend doing when you're in the boring stage is pick up a hobby. Go learn how to golf.
An expensive hobby.
Sure, choose an expensive hobby. Learn AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm in an AI mastermind, so I
Yeah.
play with AI every day. This week, Fable was released, so I'm like, in background, I got Fable working, doing a
Mhm.
bunch of projects for me because I can play. It's fun, but do not tinker with your business because it is working.
Yeah.
After the boring phase, the fourth phase is called the other side, and the other side, which is where I'm at now, that's where you're making more than 50K a month in revenue, and now you are fully like, I own a business that employs people, that pays my bills and more, and now I can do something else.
Yeah.
Now is the time to play with something else, not with this business. That's it. We've had people reach the other side within 12 months of starting their company. We've had people reach it, within 4 years of starting their company. We've had people stay stuck in the engine because they have a full-time job and they keep getting frustrated. Like, why can't they get to the other side? And we're like, well, you have a full-time job. There's a point where you need to quit your full-time job and go all in on your business. And every person has to decide for themselves when that time is. But you do grow slower when you have a full-time job. You just do.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with those 4 things, and as you were saying them, like, I had so many people that just come to mind for each one.
It took me forever to figure it out, Kevin. I
Yeah,
did 150 discovery calls with people
yeah,
and went back and analyzed each one where I was like, what are the patterns I'm seeing? What is it? Why do people quit? Because they always quit between the leap and the engine. You don't see
yeah,
people quitting in the boring phase or the other side, right? So it's always the leap or the engine. And it's that they had some sort of mismatched expectation versus results. Something was going
mhm,
on there. And life gets in the way. A partner dies or
yeah,
whatever. Life,
that
knocks you
that does
down.
happen, yeah,
Yeah. And that's totally fair. But often it's because they expected to be making more in less time than they actually are.
mhm.
But they're also not doing any work. Like, some people think you just stick a website up and people will come.
Yeah,
That's, no.
the lot of the times that I was coaching people, I would have people that are like, "I just did $6,000 my first month, like,
Mhm.
am I doing okay?"
I
And, like,
know. Yes.
90% of people, when they get on, like, a coaching call, they really just wanna feel reassured
Yeah.
that what they're doing is correct, and most of the time it is because they're a proactive person because they're getting on a coaching call or something, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true. The ones that don't get on coaching calls,
Yeah,
they're the ones who quit too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I don't know, like, it's such an insecure, lonely place to be in when you're starting a business. And so
mhm,
that's why we built the inner circle. So within Cleaning Company Blueprint, we now have a monthly, group coaching program where people meet every Wednesday on Zoom. And the impact of meeting the same people every Wednesday that are somewhere between, the leap and the other side is massive. Like, I cannot tell you, it's part of it's our coaching. And I know,
yeah.
what we're saying matters, but I also believe it's just being in a room full of people that are in your shoes.
Well, when Rohan and I started our cleaning companies, like, we had a Skype group.
Yeah,
And a lot of these big companies and people who are around right now, like, they were in that Skype group originally.
totally.
It's super important to be around people who are doing the same thing as you and are
Yeah,
also motivated and
yeah,
intelligent and
yeah.
sharing what they're learning.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's awesome. And it's really fun. And what I was going to say is, so we have a person, she never comes to the Zoom calls because she probably has a full-time job or something. So she can never make it. But she just posted in our inner circle her entire meta ad sequence from, beginning to closing the
mhm.
lead, and just shared it, with our inner circle. So everybody's like, woo, you know, and they're all like copy pasting, repeating, testing it,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the leap in the engine. This is the time to test, how does the messaging work in my location? Should I use this word? Should I use that word? How's this color? All of these things you need to actually test yourself. And I was just so impressed that, here's this person sharing this thing that they could have charged, good money for. And instead they're just like, hey, this is working for me. Test it out.
Yeah.
And we get that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
hmm No, it's so nice.
Yeah, do you wanna talk maybe a little bit more about Cleaning Business Blueprint?
So it's Cleaning Company Blueprint. It's a YouTube channel. We have almost 100 videos on there where I interview other people that have started cleaning companies, and they share honestly and transparently what has worked, what hasn't, what the struggles are. And we also have an almost 4-hour video that walks you through from day one how to launch a cleaning business in this way. There are a lot of other people out there that teach you how to start a cleaning business. And I will say there's a few different models out there. One is you are a cleaner yourself and you want to start earning more money. That is not what we teach.
Uh-huh.
Another is you want to build a franchise and, launch in 30 different locations. That is also not what we teach. So really what we focus on in our little space on the internet is how to start a cleaning company the smart way. So you make more money with less stress. If you want to start and have multiple locations eventually, it will totally work with this model. But we start with just knocking it out of the park in one location, and it's in your location. So we're not teaching you how to build a business in a different country, in a different state. It is very focused on local. And the other part of that is that we teach you how to set up your company from the get-go to attract the best cleaners in your city. So you're not trying to do a race to the bottom by having the cheapest cleaners. We want the best cleaners. And then we have online booking with transparent pricing by using ConvertLabs. And what that means is you're also attracting the best clients. So we're really building cleaning businesses that are a simple model that has
Yeah.
been proven to work in hundreds, if not thousands of other locations. And now it's your opportunity in your location to do it for where you are.
Yeah. And you really do not want to start a cleaning business, contractors who are not the best.
Oh,
And
there's loads of those out there.
I always tell people, like, if you are hiring bad people, like, it's the worst business to be in.
Yeah.
It is horrible. But if you have great cleaners, it is such an easy business. It's so
And I
easy.
and it's, you and I have run other businesses, so that's part of the
Yeah.
reason we're able to look at it and go, this is so easy. Somebody who's just starting out that has never started a business before, they hear that and they're like, but why is it so hard? Well, because you got to learn some stuff in the beginning. You got to learn how to be good at customer service. You got to learn how to be good at hiring. You've got to learn how to be good at firing. There's some cleaners that are not the right fit, and that's okay. We're not for everyone.
Yeah.
I will say I fire more clients than I do cleaners.
That's a
Um,
great spot to be in.
it's a great spot to be in. So we have clients that have unrealistic expectations. They have champagne tastes on a beer budget, and we don't apologize for the fact that our cleaners deserve to get paid very well. We pay the cleaners 60% of every clean. And on average, they're earning between, I would say on the low end, 28 an hour, on the high end, 45 an hour, sometimes
Mhm.
more. We had cleaners the other day earned $71 an hour on the clean they were on. It was for like a bajillionaire's, mansion, and they deserve it. Like, I have
Yeah.
no problem paying them that well. When you pay people well and you treat them well in an
Yeah.
industry that traditionally has underpaid them and not treated them well,
Undervalued. Yeah.
undervalued, you're going to do better. And that's that 60-40 model, but also just human decency. I
Mhm.
think, having interviewed so many people that have started these companies following this model, that is the one thing that I hear more than anything else is just how good they feel paying their cleaners.
Mhm.
How good they feel knowing that, this cleaner used to get only $20 an hour working from some other company that treated her like crap.
Yeah.
And we get to go in and go, the best part of my day is when I pay my cleaners.
Yeah.
And that
And
actually brings me back to the newbie versus the experienced person. So for a newbie, you got to listen to those experienced people because we all say that. And if you're on the struggle bus because you're like, why did that cleaner get $40 an hour? They suck. That's you. That's
Mhm.
not the cleaner sucking. That's you sucking.
Yeah.
You know?
Why do I have huge turnover? Like, why aren't my cleaners, responding to my texts? Like,
Why aren't they showing up?
yeah, it's because they don't respect you.
Yeah, because
You
you
know?
don't respect them.
Yeah. It's like they're just
Yeah.
coming to you because they need to,
Yeah. And
not because they
desperation
want to
only.
work with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and desperation only gives you more desperation. And,
Yeah.
I want to be real here. Like, we've coached a lot of people that are single moms, or, I have someone right now that is like one step away from homelessness who is rocking their business, but like they need the money to come in because they've got to feed their kids with that money. And I get it. That's why we give all the information away for free on the YouTube channel. So anybody can build this, for less than a couple $100. Like, it should not cost you a lot of money to start one of these businesses, but you do have to do the work.
That's, a little caveat there.
Yeah. Like, we
Yeah.
give it all away for free. Other people are charging $10K for what we coach for free on the YouTube channel. And we do that because we were in a position of desperation when we started. And we want to be able to pass that on to other people and not, I don't want to stop somebody else from being able to start one of these businesses. Like go out
I
there and
mean,
do it.
yeah, I mean, I started just from reading Rohan's posts,
Yeah.
and I had a little bit of money, and I was like, I'm just gonna make this work. Luckily, it worked for me really quickly,
Hmm.
and that's why we try to help people. And that's hopefully why we can get this podcast going and just get some more conversations out there, so
Yeah.
other people can realize it's possible for them. So,
Absolutely. And actually, let me ask you something, Kevin, because
mhm,
you started your cleaning business in California. And
mhm,
I had somebody recently join our program. He was in a different program and somehow found us. And, he's really resonating with what we coach. Well, he started his cleaning business as employee because he's in Cali. And he said, I can't use independent contractors because I'm in California. And I said, well, that's not true. You can. You just have to disclose that you are using contractors.
yeah,
And so his numbers aren't lining up. Like he's like, I don't understand how anybody's having a profitable cleaning business. I'm, every month I'm in the red because I'm paying for this and this and this
mhm,
and this. And I'm like, well, that's because you didn't follow the model.
yeah.
And he keeps insisting, well, no, but it's because I'm in California. I can't follow the model. And I'm like, Kevin did
Not
it.
true at all. So I hope to have him on this podcast. He has probably the largest cleaning company in California.
Mhm.
And he has told me, he's like, there is no way you can have a cleaning business with employees.
Exactly.
Now, I also have someone that I hope to have on this podcast probably next month, and she only has employees, but she's
Oh,
in North
interesting.
Carolina.
Okay. I want
And
to hear her model because I
yeah,
have yet to hear it be profitable.
she's large. She's doing like 4 million a year.
So she's doing
So
it.
so she's doing it. But of course, and she swears by it. She says, you can never do this with contractors. So there's different ways of doing it. But I think the
Mhm.
main point is when you're starting out, it's very hard to start with employees and make that cash flow work,
Yeah.
especially in California because it's just so much more expensive. There is definitely a way to hire contractors in California as long as you're abiding by the guidelines.
That's just
And like,
it, and yeah, and I think a
mhm,
lot of people think, like, "I'm gonna tell them how to clean. I'm gonna
yeah,
tell them what products to use because I need quality control."
right.
And that's where I go back and I'm like, "Do you even know how to clean?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't. The last thing I wanna do is tell people how to clean, and so I think a part of it is, like, again, to go back to mindset, it's like, I love working with independent contractors because I am an independent contractor.
Yeah.
And I want to choose when I work and who I work with, what products I use, what vehicle I drive. All of that is an independent contractor mindset,
Yeah.
right? So when my cleaners say, hey, I'm taking off for a week next month, I'm like, good for you. Where are you going? If they were an employee, I'd have to say, oh, let me check and see. And,
Yeah. Yeah. And just to kind of hammer the point home here is that, he was actually audited recently and he passed in like a day.
the one that had the,
He's in predominantly California, just contractors,
that's great.
very large company. And yeah, so he didn't have any problems with it as long as you abide by the guidelines.
Yeah, you have to treat them like contractors. They are not
Exactly.
your employees. And that's something that we end up spending a lot of time on in our community is getting people to understand the difference. When you're a new business owner, it's like you start acting like your former bosses.
Hmm.
And Jen and I come in and we're like, nah, don't act like them. There's a reason you quit that job.
Yeah. Hmm.
Treat people with respect and decency. And if you're going to have independent contractors, you have to let them choose which clients they work with, when they work, what products they use, what clothes they wear,
Yeah, that's just
and
what you're
enjoy that.
hiring. You're hiring them based off of that, right?
Yeah.
So like if hypothetically you just wanted to use green cleaning products, which I don't recommend, but
Me
if you
neither.
did, you just hire those contractors that are using those products.
Yeah. It's interesting, the green cleaning thing. Let's talk about that a little bit and then we
Yeah.
can wrap this up. So Nikita, who's in our inner circle, her messaging, I just happened to take a look at her website one day and I spotted that on her headline, she talked about being her region's eco-friendly cleaning company.
Mhm.
And I went back to her and I said, listen, I love you and I love your business. What are you doing? And she's like, well, the AI says that this is the selling feature. And I'm like, yeah, AI really thinks that that is the selling feature. And she said, plus, I care about the environment and I think everybody should. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
I live in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. This is the most environmentally friendly, left
Mhm.
leaning city in Canada. And I can tell you, less than 5% of clients call asking for eco friendly cleaning products.
Yeah.
95% of them are booking a cleaning company because they want us to use bleach. They might not want to use it themselves, but they want us to use it. So what I told Nikita to do, and she did it, she was very smart because she did listen to it. I said, remove the eco-friendly from your headline, add it to your extras as a button. So they can choose to add on eco-friendly. And you can charge an extra fee for that or
Hmm.
not, whatever. Or a similar button would be like scent-free products. No problem. Add that button. The cleaner then has to go out and get those products, but they get paid a little bit extra for that extra effort. And now watch how many more bookings you get. And so Nikita reported back to us last week and she said, I am so happy I made that change because I was repelling 95% of people that they're not going to tell you they don't want eco-friendly. I mean, they
Yeah.
might in America, but definitely not in Canada. We're not going to blurt that out and be like, no, I want to destroy the environment. But they are going to move on to another company.
Yeah.
And so she didn't know. And now she's getting more bookings. They're coming in online. They're coming in organically. And she's like, I am shocked at how many people are not choosing the eco-friendly option. I'm like,
Yeah. People just,
and I am for the environment, but don't turn away half your customers. And you can
yeah.
always still use an eco-friendly products and just tell them that's what you use. But like,
Yeah.
don't turn them away.
Yeah, most people, they're like, I just want my grout lines completely clean. I don't care
I don't
if
care
you're
what you use.
a nuclear weapon, just get it
Get it
done.
clean. Yep.
Yeah. And then when I come in there, I don't care if it smells like, death. That's what I want. I want
Yeah.
everything to be disinfected,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just kind of the reality of it. And that was a mistake that a lot of people, I made that too. I eventually removed that because nobody really cared. Nobody ever
Nope.
asked me about that
Nope.
whatsoever.
Less than 5% asked for it. I've got somebody who just booked today whose husband is going through chemo. And so she specifically
Right.
said, can you use eco-friendly
Yeah.
products? And we just add it to the notes. We
Yeah.
tell the cleaners, hey, here's a situation, please bring. And, the cleaners always have different products in their kits, but we don't
Yeah.
tell them what to use. We just give the general, here's what the client has asked for. So there's still independent contractors. And again, if they want to take vacation, we don't say no. We
Yeah.
say, sure, you might lose the clients that you have when you're away in the middle of the high season because I'm going to replace you with another cleaner. And that client might decide to keep that cleaner. But that's your right and it's our right,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So
Um,
when it comes to like products specifically, it kind of reminds me of like if you hire a contractor, like install a type of roof, for example, like
yeah,
I want a metal roof, right? They're gonna go out, they're gonna buy a metal, that material and
they
then
figure it out. Yeah.
just the same way as like if the client wants a very specific type of product to be used, the cleaner, your contractor can go out, buy that and use that specific, right? It's not a lot of people kind of get this confused when it comes to those employee versus contractor guidelines when it comes to like telling them how to do their job. You're not
Mhm.
telling them how to do their job there,
No.
right? There's like it's the actual end client who's requesting very specific things, and so yeah, it's not really like a major concern when it comes to stuff like that.
And to me, I just think a lot of us are micromanagers and we don't know it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's a terrifying
terrifying thought.
reality.
I
Yeah.
am.
Oh.
I am, definitely. I've had to overcome a lot of micromanaging tendencies. And I do think it has to do with what jobs you've had in the past and how your bosses have behaved in the past. And that
Mhm.
becomes normalized. And you think it's normal. And it's taken me a long time to be like, oh, this is trusting the cleaners. I'm trying to set them up for success by writing really great notes, by filtering out any clients that are terrible. That's my job. But it's their job to do the cleaning. And I need to trust that they're doing a great job. We had somebody in our community yesterday doing site visits on every single one of our clients. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, quality control. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you are micromanaging. Get out of their space. Let them be. When a client complains, believe them. When a cleaner explains it, believe them. And trust the evidence because the evidence comes from the reviews. So if one cleaner is getting 1-star reviews over and over and over again, that's evidence.
Yeah.
And then you can let that cleaner go or only assign them on clients that love them. That's it. We've got a couple cleaners like that. Depending on the client, they either love them or hate them. And I'm like, all right, I haven't had to fire them. I just don't send them to certain types of clients.
Yeah.
And then I have other cleaners that are phenomenal at every job they do. But the right client and the right cleaner for everybody,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
probably true. Yeah.
Yeah. So just get out of their way. I have a
Yeah.
guy cleaner who, if I send him to a woman's house, she will not complain about him. but
Uh-huh.
she won't ask for him back. And if I send him to guys' houses, like bachelors, they
Yeah.
love him. They
Yeah.
keep him for years. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this guy is good with bachelors. So when I get the bachelors in, I book him with this guy. They all love each other. Great.
Mhm.
But like mom types, they're like, he was okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I hear
Hmm.
you loud and clear. He was okay. That means he was okay. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's bad.
It's
So,
it's kinda like that phenomenon too when there's a husband and wife and
mhm,
the husband books a cleaning service,
yep.
the wife will complain after the service. She'll
Hmm.
always find something wrong
Hmm.
because, she has, like, someone else coming into her house and, like,
Yeah.
she's not it's never up to her standards or she's dissatisfied in some way.
Which is also an age group thing usually.
Mm, mhm.
So what we've discovered, so we have two different customer avatars. We have Jordan, who is typically millennial or Gen X. She's making a great income. She has an active social life. She's got a partner or not, has a dog, maybe has some young kids. Jordan loves booking online. Jordan is set it and forget it. Stay out of my way. You stay out of her way. Everybody's happy. Jordan is the easiest, best client to work with. And then we have Nancy. And Nancy is older, usually retired or semi retired. She has done the cleaning herself her entire life and resents having to pay a cleaner today. And
Uh,
no cleaner will ever clean as well as Nancy cleans. But Nancy's never been paid $1 for her cleaning. You can't make Nancy happy. But again, all the other cleaning companies are for Nancy, so don't sweat it. Just
uh-huh,
make your cleaning company for Jordan, and that's your edge. Because none of the other cleaning companies are tailored for Jordan. She can't book online. She can't have set it and forget it. She has to micromanage the cleaners because she has to tell the cleaners what to do in the 3 hours she's booked them. With our model, it's by the job. She doesn't have to do a thing. Just give us access. Cleaner comes in, does the thing, and then leaves. Right. So our model is really set up for attracting Jordans, repelling Nancy's. But we all have Nancy's, and it's okay. But now
yeah,
you know. Like,
that's a great way of looking at it.
yeah. And then we've got
So
Lazy Larry. Lazy Larry. Lazy Larry books same day and always says it's not that bad.
I
Larry.
feel attacked right now.
Larry. Larry, it is that bad. You got to clean, buddy. It's not once a year. But Lazy Larry tends not to complain.
Yeah,
I will give him that. He's happy to
yeah,
pay. He just doesn't want to do it.
yeah.
And he doesn't realize how much time it actually takes to clean a house.
I met
So,
a few of those.
oh, yeah, we've had a few of those, more than our
Cool,
fair share.
yeah. Uh, well, that's been an hour.
Yeah,
Um,
that's great.
I wanna thank you so much for your time. Again, where can people find you, get a hold of you?
The easiest thing is to go to cleaningcompanyblueprint.com. On there, we have the links to our YouTube channel. We have an ebook we've written. We have our inner circle, and we have the Name My Cleaning Company tool. If you can remember, it's just namemycleaningcompany.com or cleaningcompanyblueprint.com is the best. And we'll see you there.
Cool. Yeah, and that site is really great, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
so
work in progress.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you again so much for your
Anytime,
time.
Kevin.
Thanks, everybody. Again, this is Kevin with ConvertLabs.io. If you're interested, check out ConvertLabs, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys. Bye.